दृष्टुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्. In this class, we will discuss the reactions in which the alcohols differ, ODC. Now we will come to oxidation, the alcohols in which, that is ODC. We have taken the mnemonics, that O, oxidation, and D, dehydrogenation, and reaction with chlorination in presence of alkali, in alkali medium chlorination. So all these reactions, the primary alcohol differs from secondary alcohol, differs from tertiary alcohol. In some reactions, both primary oxidation, dehydrogenation, both primary and secondary will give and tertiary will not give. I have explained you this, why this will not happen. Now let's come to the oxidation. Let's come to the primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol. In primary alcohol, the carbonyl carbon is bonded to two active hydrogen atoms, which are oxidizable hydrogen atoms, so it can readily undergo oxidation even with a mild oxidizing agent. In secondary alcohol, the carbonyl carbon is bonded with one active hydrogen atom, so it can undergo one step oxidation. Second step oxidation will be difficult. And in case of tertiary alcohol, there is no active hydrogen atom, so it will not undergo oxidation. So primary and secondary will undergo oxidation, will form different product. Tertiary alcohol will not undergo oxidation under normal conditions. Now let's come to the oxidation of primary alcohol. How the primary alcohol will undergo oxidation. So let me take ethyl alcohol, CH3, in place of R, I take CH3 ethyl alcohol, CH3, CH2OH, ethyl alcohol. When we treat this with alkaline KMnO4, it will subscribe one oxygen atom. We will treat this with alkaline KMnO4. This will undergo oxidation. So what happens during oxidation? What happens? H becomes OH. Alkaline, the potassium oxidizing agent will give what? Will give a nascent oxygen. Nascent oxygen will attack whom? On the hydrogen atom. It will attack one of the active hydrogen atom. So what will happen? This will form CH3, C, OH, OH and H. We get this? Any carbon atom when bonded to two OH groups is unstable, loses a molecule of water. When one carbon atom bonded to two OH groups is unstable, loses a molecule of water. So it will lose a molecule of water. It will lose a molecule of water. Will form what? Now CH3, COH. This is acetaldehyde. This is acetaldehyde, and a water molecule is formed. Now this acetaldehyde has a lone hydrogen atom. This hydrogen atom is called lone hydrogen atom. Why? This is the carbonyl group. The carbonyl carbon is bonded to one hydrogen atom. Hence this hydrogen atom is called a lone hydrogen atom, and this reaction, this can easily be oxidized. So again, this alkaline KMnO4 that we have taken, that again acts upon this, again it undergoes oxidation. This H will become OH. We get acetic acid. This is acetic acid. Now if you look at the acetic acid, the carboxylic acid, this contains the 2 carbon atoms, and we started with the alcohol containing 2 carbon atoms. We started with the primary alcohol. Ethyl alcohol is a primary alcohol, and it has 2 carbon atoms, and we get a acid, carboxylic acid with 2 carbon atoms. So primary alcohol undergoes oxidation by a mild oxidizing agent, either alkaline KMnO4 or potassium dichromate, to form its aldehyde. And the aldehyde has a lone hydrogen atom which is susceptible to oxidation, so undergoes oxidation to form acetic acid. Acetaldehyde, ethyl alcohol undergoes oxidation to form acetaldehyde, acetic acid. If you take an propyl alcohol, this will form propionaldehyde, propionic acid. Any alcohol, primary alcohol you take, it will form its aldehyde, then carboxylic acid containing same number of carbon atom, and the oxidation is very easy in case of primary alcohol. Now we'll come to how the secondary alcohol undergoes oxidation. Children, remember, during oxidation always the H becomes OH. And second point, when the carbon atom is bonded to two OH groups is unstable, loses a molecule of water. There are 2 clues here. One, hydrogen, during oxidation hydrogen becomes OH. Second clue is any carbon atom bonded to 2 OH group is unstable, loses a molecule of water. If you have these 2 clues, then all the reactions following aldehyde and ketone and primary alcohol will be secondary alcohol will be very easy for you. Now let's come to the oxidation of secondary alcohol. We take a secondary alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Let's take isopropyl alcohol, CH3, CHOH. This is a isopropyl alcohol, and this is secondary alcohol we take, and this has one active hydrogen atom. Since this has one active hydrogen atom, it can be oxidized even by mild oxidizing agent. So now it can undergo oxidation. If you treat this with alkaline KMnO4, this H will become OH. So we'll get a product here, CH3, COH and OH. Any carbon atom having 2 OH group is unstable, it will lose a molecule of water. Any carbon atom having 2 OH groups is unstable, loses a molecule of water, and we get here acetone, a ketone. We get the ketone of the alcohol, acetone, plus water. This is acetone. So secondary alcohol reacts with alkaline KMnO4, undergoes oxidation to form its ketone. Now this ketone, if we come to the ketone, CH3, we got the acetone, CH3CO, the acetone. Now these are both alkyl groups. What are alkyl groups? Alkyl groups are inert. Alkyl groups are always inert. So these alkyl group, they are inert. You have read in alkane, alkanes are called as paraffins. Little parium means little, affinis means affinity. They have little affinity. Alkyl groups have little affinity for chemical reaction. Hence they will not undergo oxidation under ordinary condition. So when you treat with a strong oxidizing agent, if we treat this with a strong oxidizing agent, that means you will take concentrated, or you take potassium dichromate with sulfuric acid, we take, or you take constant sulfuric acid, whatever you take, what will happen? One of the alkyl group will undergo oxidation. So one of the alkyl group will undergo oxidation. So a clue I am telling you, this group will undergo oxidation. So this is a clue. I don't say, don't ask me what is the chemistry, what is the mechanism behind it. That I am not going to tell you. I don't want to confuse you. I want to teach you organic chemistry and make you understand organic chemistry, answer in exam and qualify in exam. I am not doing research on organic chemistry. So it will undergo oxidation. Means who will undergo oxidation? Methyl group. So what is this methyl group? This is the methyl group, CCH. So in a easy way I want to teach you this. So this, then what will happen? This H will become OH. This H will become OH. This H will become OH. So when it is oxidized, what will happen? This C, this will become OH. This will become OH. This will become OH. OH. And any carbon atom having two OH group is unstable, loses a molecule of water. So this will lose a molecule of water. Do you understand this? So this you get, this is the way it will, you get the molecule of water. So then what you will have ultimately, this CH3, this will become, and it will produce this OH. This carbon atom will become carbon dioxide. Two hydrogen atom will become water, and H will become OH. You go by this way. This is a very easy way of understanding the oxidation of a methyl group. When the methyl group is oxidized, the carbon atom will form carbon dioxide. Two hydrogen atoms, they will form a molecule of water. The other hydrogen atom will form OH. So with this common sense, let's come to this. So CH3 remains, CO remains. This CH3 becomes carbon dioxide, and two hydrogen become the water, and they become what? CH3 COOH, acetic acid. We get here acetic acid. So this is a very rough way of estimating, understanding a subject. So mechanism for a plus 2 student is not that much essential. You are need understanding, then we will do and go by mechanisms and explain that later on. So what you got? You got an acid. How many carbon atoms are here? 2 carbon atoms. And what was the alcohol we started? We started with 3 alcohol. We got this CH3, CH, OH we took, and we got acetone, oxidation. This gave us carbon dioxide, water, and acetic acid. So secondary alcohols undergo oxidation with mild oxidizing agent to produce a ketone. The ketone has 2 alkyl groups and cannot be easily oxidized by mild oxidizing agent. Hence, on using a strong heating with a strong oxidizing agent, one of the alkyl group undergoes oxidation to form a carboxylic acid, CH3COH, carbon dioxide and water. So it forms a carboxylic acid with 1 carbon atom less. Now let's come to the tertiary alcohol, oxidation of tertiary alcohol. So in case of tertiary alcohol, let's take a tertiary butyl alcohol, and what happens here? There are 2 methyl groups here, and all the methyl groups are inert. They are inert, they are less reactive, they are resistant towards oxidation. So they do not undergo oxidation even with strong oxidizing agent. Tertiary alcohol resist the oxidation reaction. They resist the oxidation reaction. But if we take a drastic condition, under drastic condition, that is when we had heated with a concentrated nitric acid. Nitric acid. So this form, one of the alkyl group will be oxidized, will form at OH. So this will form a ketone. This will form a ketone, CH3 CO plus carbon dioxide plus water. So this will form what? C will become carbon dioxide, 2 hydrogen atom will become water, and 1 hydrogen become OH. So you got this acetic acid, acetone, and carbon dioxide, water. Now this acetone, this again under oxidation, drastic condition, again this will be oxidized. So this will form acetic acid, CH3 COOH, will form, it formed 2 carbon atom. We started with an S alcohol with 4 carbon atoms. We started with an alcohol with 4 carbon atoms and we landed upon a acid with 2 carbon atoms. So primary alcohol undergoes oxidation very easily even with mild oxidizing agent to form an aldehyde, and the aldehyde undergoes further oxidation to form a carboxylic acid containing same number of carbon atoms. Secondary alcohol has 1 active hydrogen atom, can easily be oxidized to form a carboxylic acid, to form a ketone. The ketone cannot be oxidized easily, so under strong oxidizing agent when heated, one of the alkyl group gets oxidized to form a carboxylic acid with 1 carbon atom less. Tertiary alcohol does not have active hydrogen atom, so cannot undergo oxidation ordinarily, even with strong oxidizing agent. But when heated with drastic condition, heated with the concerned nitric acid, one of the alkyl group oxidized to form a ketone, and that again the ketone gets oxidized to form a carboxylic acid with 2 carbon atom less. Now we will come to the next reaction, that is dehydrogenation. What is dehydrogenation? Removal of hydrogen. Oxidation gone, this we have studied. Now we are going to study dehydrogenation. So what is dehydrogenation? Removal of hydrogen. What is removal of hydrogen and oxidation? You see, there is nothing to remember here. So if you understand the meaning of the word, then that will tell you the answer. It is not a new reaction. Dehydrogenation means what? Removal of hydrogen. Removal of hydrogen means what? Oxidation. So what has happened oxidation will happen here. What happened to oxidation? Primary alcohol form aldehyde. So on dehydrogenation, primary alcohol will form aldehyde. Secondary alcohol form ketone. So on dehydrogenation, secondary alcohol will form ketone. And tertiary alcohol will not undergo dehydrogenation, because tertiary alcohol does not undergo oxidation. So tertiary alcohol does not undergo dehydrogenation. But it will undergo, when you heat the same reagent, that undergoes a dehydration to form an alkene. So there also all the reactions they differ. So there is not a new reaction. Dehydrogenation, if you say dehydrogenation, is a new reaction. But the moment you said dehydrogenation is a removal of hydrogen, removal of hydrogen is oxidation. What has happened in oxidation will happen here. So then what so it is done whom? This is done by reduced copper at 300 degree centigrade heated. This may be entrance question. Alcohols, the best dehydrogenating agent is concerned sulfuric acid, concerned nitric acid, reduced copper and palladium will be answered, will be the question in your JEE exam. So here what is reduced copper? Copper is copper. Then what is reduced copper? That's a question. A student should ask him, what is reduced copper? If you understand and go into the reaction, you will be finding interest in it and you will understand it. The moment reduced copper, this is a just chanting organic chemistry. What do you mean by what reduced copper? Means what? You take copper, reduce it. Cooked rice, you take rice, raw rice, boil it, then cooked rice, cooked food. Exactly same. Take copper, reduce it. Then what is a reduce it? Copper is, what is copper? A metal. If you take copper, if you keep the copper outside, copper is an electropositive metal. It's basic in nature. In presence of moisture and oxygen, it forms a green coating comes upon it, that is cupric carbonate. It first forms copper oxide. Copper in presence of moisture react to form copper oxide. Then copper oxide with moisture forms copper hydroxide. Copper hydroxide is a weak base, reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide to form copper carbonate. That is the reason when you take a copper vessel and keep it, it becomes black. That is a coating of copper oxide. Then if you keep it for some time, do not touch it, keep it for some time, this becomes green. That becomes green coating. That is due to what? Copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. So copper become this. So copper will not be a copper metal. What is copper? Copper has atomic number 29. What is the electron configuration of copper? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s1. It has 1 unpaired electron. If you go to the electronic configuration of copper 29, its electron configuration argon 18, 3d10, 4s1. That means copper atom has 1 unpaired electron in its outermost cell. It has a tendency to take 1 electron, and hydrogen atom has 1 electron. And so that is the reason this electron, unpaired electron, present in pure copper atom has a tendency to remove hydrogen. Hence, reduced copper, the metallic copper, pure copper metal has a tendency to remove hydrogen. Hence, reduced copper is a very good dehydrogenating agent. Then how it is done? They take the copper and they prepare an alloy with the aluminium. They take copper is taken, it is mixed with aluminium and it is melted. Then heated, it is melted. It forms an alloy. And this alloy contains what? Copper and aluminium hydroxide. Then this alloy is taken and heated with sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide will react with whom? Aluminium, to form what? Aluminium hydroxide. And it will form copper. So this copper is reduced copper, purest form of copper. The copper, atomic copper you will have, and all the copper atoms present in this copper, they have 1 electron in their outermost cell, so they can pull the hydrogen atom from the alcohol molecule. That is the reason reduced copper acts as a very good dehydrogenating agent. So with this common sense, the chemistry behind the copper, if you go by this, like this, you could go analyze everything at one place. Every place you will be using them and you can be easy. Now let's come to the ethyl alcohol. Let us take CH3, CHOH, ethyl alcohol. We are treating with the reduced copper, means the copper atom with 1 unpaired electron, and it is heated to 300 degree centigrade. What it will do? It will remove a hydrogen atom. Which hydrogen atom? Now this hydrogen atom is active. This hydrogen atom and another hydrogen atom, they go as a molecule of hydrogen. This hydrogen atom and this hydrogen atom, they go as a molecule of 2 hydrogen atoms. So this forms CH3, COH plus H2. We get H2. Hydrogen is removed. This is acetaldehyde. So when ethyl alcohol is heated with reduced copper, undergoes dehydrogenation. What is this reaction? This reaction is dehydrogenation reaction to produce acetaldehyde. Now if we come to the secondary alcohol, CH3, HOH, and we are heating it, we again reduced copper. What is reduced copper? It has a copper atom and heat it to 300 degree centigrade. What will happen? So this hydrogen and this hydrogen, they go as a molecule of hydrogen, and they form what? They form a ketone. They form ketone, the acetone plus a molecule of hydrogen. So this hydrogen, it goes as, we get acetone. So isopropyl alcohol dehydrogenated. This is what? Secondary alcohol. This is a 2 degree alcohol. What is this? Isopropyl alcohol, and this undergoes dehydrogenation to produce what? To produce ketone. So this is an oxidation reaction. Common sense. Dehydrogenation means oxidation. So to form exactly same. So primary alcohol undergoes dehydrogenation when heated with reduced copper to form acetaldehyde. Secondary alcohol on dehydrogenation form a ketone. Now tertiary alcohol will not undergo dehydrogenation. Now with this common sense, let's come to the tertiary alcohol. How the tertiary alcohol will, when heated with reduced copper, what will happen? There is a tertiary butyl alcohol we are taking. we are taking tertiary butyl alcohol. We are taking tertiary butyl alcohol and heating with reduced copper at 300 degree centigrade. So here is hydrogen. This hydrogen is there, but this hydrogen, here is no hydrogen. There is no active hydrogen atom. So it will not undergo oxidation. So what will happen now? But this copper will activate. What it will do? It will absorb a molecule of water. Because copper is a metal, it can absorb a molecule of water. So on heating, this OH and one hydrogen atom from this place of the alkyl group will go away this, and this forms CH3 like this, and C double bond CS2. So this became CH3, C, this became CS2, double bond CS2 plus water. It undergoes dehydration. So this is formed 1, 2, 3, 2-methyl propene, 2-methyl prop 1-ene, or isopropylene. This is isobutylene. This is isobutylene. 4 carbon atoms are there. Double bond is there. Butylene. So isobutylene. So here what is this reaction? This reaction is dehydration. Why? This removed a molecule of water, not hydrogen. So primary alcohol, when heated with reduced copper at 300 degree centigrade, undergoes dehydrogenation to produce an aldehyde. Secondary alcohol, when heated with reduced copper 300 degree centigrade, undergoes dehydrogenation to produce a ketone. And tertiary alcohol, when heated, will not undergo dehydrogenation but undergoes dehydration to produce an alkene. It's alkene, you can say. Now let's come to the last reaction, how the reaction takes place with chlorine. Chlorination. Reaction with chlorine. So this is a specific reaction. Because there is interest chemistry. So I am taking this reaction. Actually, it is not possible for all alcohols, but I am taking this chlorination reaction because a student of +2 has a chloroform, bromoform, iodoform. He has aldehyde, ketone, all the reactions, and so that is the reason I am taking this reaction. Children, before teach I this, you will see oxidation reaction. What you get? Aldehyde and ketone. So next topic is our aldehyde preparation, properties of aldehyde and ketone. So preparation of aldehyde ketone you have done. Oxidation of alcohol, primary alcohol aldehyde, secondary alcohol ketone. Then second, dehydrogenation of primary alcohol aldehyde, second ketone. So you have studied 2 reactions, properties of preparation of aldehyde and ketone while completing the properties of alcohol. That's the reason I say you, my children, it is a gateway to organic chemistry. If a student understands alcohol very well, then it will be very easy for him or her to study other topics of organic chemistry. Now let's come to the chlorination. So I am taking ethyl alcohol and in presence of what? In presence of an alkali. So what is chlorine? Chlorine is an oxidizing agent. And second, alkyl groups undergoes substitution reaction with chlorine. 2 things chlorine. The knowledge about chlorine in organic chemistry is chlorine is an oxidizing agent because it has a very high electronegativity, and chlorine reacts with alkyl groups, methyl group, to remove the hydrogen atom to form the chloroderivatives. These are the 2 fundamental concepts a student should take. So now if you come to ethyl alcohol, CH3, CS2, OH, we are treating with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide. What this chlorine will do? It will oxidize this. It will oxidize this. So this alcohol will be oxidized by whom? By the chlorine. By the chlorine. So when primary alcohol is oxidized, what it will form? It will form an aldehyde. So it will form its aldehyde, CH3, COH, and the hydrogen atoms will form 2HCl. Then why sodium hydroxide? Now because the product, who is the product coming out? HCl. Who is the product coming out? HCl. One of the product is HCl. So if you take sodium hydroxide will react with HCl to form sodium chloride and water. That will go away from the reaction medium, and reaction will be forward reaction. That's the reason we take sodium hydroxide. Now you have the acetaldehyde. We got here acetaldehyde. Now this acetaldehyde will now react with again chlorine. This will again react with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide. What will happen? It will attack here, because chlorine removes the hydrogen atoms of methyl group in stepwise manner. Methane, chlorine, methyl chloride, CH3Cl. CH3Cl chlorine, CH2Cl2. CH2Cl2 chlorine, CCl3, and CCl3 chlorine then form CCl4. So all the three hydrogen atoms of alcohol, this acetaldehyde, will be substituted in stepwise manner. So three hydrogen atoms, so three chlorine molecules will react to form CCl3COH plus 3HCl. So this is called chloral. Children, a question comes to you in your exams, 12th class, what is chloral? Chloral is what? Trichloroacetaldehyde. What is chloral? Trichloroacetaldehyde. What is chloral? Trichloroacetal, very reactive substance. What is this? Now this is chlorine atom, this is COH group, and what is this? Three chlorine atoms are here, like this. So what is chlorine? An electron attracting group. Then what will happen here? So this is always the drift of electron towards chlorine. So the carbon atom develops a positive charge. This develops a positive charge. Very reactive. Chloral is a very reactive compound. Now this chloral will now react with sodium hydroxide. CCl3COH will now react with sodium hydroxide to form CHCl3 chloroform. They will form CHCl3 chloroform and HCOONA sodium formate. This is a very, very important question for a student of 12th class. What happens when chlorine reacts with ethyl alcohol in presence of sodium hydroxide? Or what happens when acetaldehyde reacts with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide? Very important reaction for a student of +2. So when acetaldehyde treated with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide forms acetaldehyde, the acetaldehyde reacts with chlorine, undergoes substitution reaction in presence of alkali to produce chloral, trichloroacetaldehyde. The trichloroacetaldehyde then reacts with CCl3 to form SCONA, chloroform. What is this CCl3? This is chloroform. This reaction. If you take iodine, suppose in presence of chlorine, we take iodine. If you take CH2OH, ethyl alcohol, and treat this with iodine. In presence of sodium hydroxide. Then whatever the last product will be CHI3. What is this? Iodoform. What is iodoform? A yellow solid. This is called iodoform test. Question may be there for a 12th class student in CBSE and CHSE. What is iodoform test? When ethyl alcohol treated with sodium hydroxide in presence of iodine in presence of sodium hydroxide forms a yellow crystalline solid with characteristic smell, CHI3 iodoform. So this is the reaction. In wherever there is chlorine, you write iodine, you get iodoform. Now we will come to what will happen to secondary alcohol. If you take secondary alcohol, the reaction will be in the similar manner, reaction will take place, but we will be getting different products in stepwise manner. If you take isopropyl alcohol, say CS3, CS3, CHOH, we treat this with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide. Then this reaction will take, again reaction take place, because chlorine is an oxidizing agent. It will form acetone plus HCl, 2HCl. Then acetone will react with, this acetone will react with chlorine again. Why? These alkyl groups are there, CH3 groups are there. So one of the CH3 group will react with whom? With chlorine. The 3 hydrogen atoms of methyl group will be substituted by whom? By the chlorine atoms. How many hydrogen atoms are here? 3 hydrogen atoms. So how many chlorine atoms will react? 3 chlorine molecules. So what will happen here? This will form trichloroacetone, CS3, CCl3, CO plus 3HCl. So you get trichloroacetone. If a student knows the property of alkane, then he can write very easily this. The 3 hydrogen atoms of one alkyl group will be substituted by the chlorine atoms to produce this. Now this trichloroacetone, who? CS3, CCl3, CO, trichloroacetone will react with again sodium hydroxide. So what will happen? CH3COO and A. Because CCl3, I told you the carbon atom is very, very reactive. It has a positive charge. So it will take him whom? It will take this hydrogen atom. It will attract the hydrogen atom towards it. So it will form CH3 chloroform plus CH3 COO and A. So this is a chloroform. Secondary alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, when treated with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide, forms acetone. Then acetone reacts with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide. It gives trichloroacetone, and trichloroacetone reacts with this again to form chloroform. If you take iodine, you will get iodoform. The same reaction is possible with chlorine, bromine and iodine. Bromine will give bromoform, iodine will iodoform, chlorine gives chloroform. And alkali you can take calcium hydroxide also. You can take calcium oxide, you can take calcium hydroxide, you will get the same reaction. So instead of sodium hydroxide, they will ask you the question, what happens when acetone treated with chlorine in presence of an alkali? So there you have the option of sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, whatever thing you take and write the reaction. And what about tertiary alcohol? Tertiary alcohol will not form this reaction. So in tertiary alcohol, it is not susceptible to oxidation. Why? Now first step is what? First step is oxidation reaction, and it has no oxidation center. So this is OH, and if you treat this with chlorine in presence of sodium hydroxide, no reaction. There is no. So in ODC, the primary alcohol differs from secondary alcohol, differs from tertiary alcohol. So children, you see this is a property of aldehyde ketone also. While finishing oxidation of alcohol, dehydrogenation of alcohol, you are completing preparation of aldehyde, preparation of ketone, and property of aldehyde and property of ketone. So mindfully, if you are studying one topic, subsequently you are studying many topics, and you are solving many things. So these are the reactions in which the alcohols differ, that ODC in oxidation, dehydrogenation and chlorination. Now question comes, how to distinguish the alcohols? We have primary alcohol, we have secondary alcohol, we have tertiary alcohol. a question comes in the exam, suggests a test by which you can distinguish 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree. So distinguishing test for alcohol. So first I will go for distinguishing test for primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol. Then I will go for distinguishing test for methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol. So distinguishing test for alcohol. Distinguishing test for alcohol. 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. So there are the alcohols, the 3 types of alcohols can be distinguished from one another by 2 sensitive tests. There are 2 sensitive tests. There are many tests we can do, but the 2 tests are sensitive tests. What does that mean? Means it will give a product. The product will be different. There will be difference of color. There will be difference of formation, and it is visible. It should be visible to the naked eye. You will add a reagent, primary alcohol, same reagent to secondary alcohol, same reagent to tertiary alcohol, and you will find 3 type of tests, 3 type of observations which are visible to the naked eye. Then that can be taken as a distinguishing test. The 2 distinguishing tests are there for 3 types of alcohol. One is called Lucas test, and second is Victor Mass test. Lucas test and Victor Mass test. The 3 types of alcohols can be distinguished from one another by 2 sensitive tests, the Lucas test and Victor Mass test. Now we will come to the what is called Lucas test. Let us first discuss Lucas test. This may be a question for a student of +2 in exam. What is Lucas test? For 1 mark question, for 2 mark question, you may what is Lucas test? For 1 mark question, you may have a Lucas reagent. In your entrance exam, JEE, you will have a question that the Lucas reagent is alkaline KMnO4, acidified potassium dichromate, anhydrous zinc chloride, then consubstantial zinc chloride. And the answer is consubstantial zinc chloride. So the Lucas reagent is concentrated HCl plus anhydrous zinc chloride. This is called Lucas reagent. This will be a 1 mark question. The Lucas reagent is dash, fill up the blanks, consubstantial and anhydrous zinc chloride. So this, what is this Lucas test? Then what is the principle? So when a test comes, first your answer is, we will ask this, what is the principle of the test? What is the principle? So what is this? Now the 3 types of alcohols react with constant HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride to form their corresponding alkyl chloride. The 3 types of alcohols react with the Lucas reagent, who na constant HCl in presence of zinc chloride to form their corresponding alkyl chloride. Means primary alcohol will form primary alkyl chloride, secondary alcohol will form secondary alkyl chloride, and tertiary alcohol will form tertiary alkyl chloride. So if you take the 3 test tubes and you are adding the Lucas reagent, we will take primary alcohol R CS2Cl. We add the Lucas reagent, who concentrated HCl plus zinc chloride anhydrous, it will form RCS2Cl. What is this reaction? Reaction involving the OH group. Then secondary alcohol, there is 1 degree alcohol, it forms secondary alcohol RRCHOH, also react with whom? With concentrated HCl plus anhydrous zinc chloride, the Lucas reagent, to form its alkyl chloride RrCHCl. It will form. So this will form its alkyl chloride. The tertiary, there is a 2-degree alcohol, this reacts. If you take 3-degree alcohol, COH, and if you treat this with the same concentrated HCl plus anhydrous zinc chloride, this forms its alkyl chloride RrCCl. So this forms primary alkyl chloride, secondary alkyl chloride, tertiary alkyl chloride. But rate of formation, rate of order of reactivity of alcohol with the Lucas reagent is 3 degree more reactive, 2 degree more reactive, 1 degree. Because this reaction is what? The reaction with HCl is a reaction involving OH group. The OH group is replaced by whom? By the chlorine atom. So the order of reactivity is 3 degree alcohol more reactive than 2 degree alcohol than 1 degree alcohol. Then what will happen? This will be immediately formed. This will formed immediately formed. And this is secondary alcohol formed after some time. This will formed after some time because order of reactivity comes and formed on warming. This takes place after some time. On warming, this is possible. So when you take the primary alcohol, three test tubes are there. One test tube primary, one test tube secondary, one test tube tertiary. We do not know who is primary, who is secondary, who is tertiary. We add concentrated HCl, then we add zinc chloride. That which will give immediate test, this. So we'll get a white turbidity. This is a white turbidity. We will get the white turbidity immediately. And this will, after some time, white turbidity after some time. So this will form faint white turbidity after heating. So they can be distinguished. Well, the 3 tests are there, 3 test tubes are there. Primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol. We will add anhydrous zinc chloride and concentrated HCl to all. The primary alcohol, tertiary order of reactivity is 3 degree more reactive than 2 degree more reactive than 1 degree. So that which will get a white turbidity immediately, that is tertiary alcohol. That which has give the white turbidity after some time, after that is secondary alcohol, and that will not be formed, but on heating it will formed, then it will call tertiary alcohol. So this is the called Lucas test. So the Lucas reagent is concentrated HCl, zinc chloride. The principle is all alcohols react with the Lucas reagent to form their corresponding alkyl chloride. The order of reactivity of alcohol 3 degree more reactive, 2 degree more reactive, 1 degree. So on adding anhydrous zinc chloride and concentrated HCl, the tertiary alcohol forms white turbidity immediately. Secondary alcohol forms after some time, and primary alcohol forms on faint white turbidity on heating. Hence they can be distinguished. So next question comes, what is Victor mass? This is a question for 2 mark or 3 mark question for a student of both CHSE board and CBSE board. Now let's come to this. What is Victor's mass test? It may be a short question for you. You have a question, 3 mark question. In the 3 mark question, they may ask you what is Victor mass test. What is Victor mass test? So this is what is called, second test is Victor Mass. This is the most sensitive test for distinguishing the alcohols. This is the most sensitive test. Again, from the same properties, what you have studied, their knowledge we are using to do this. So what is this? What is the reaction? So all alcohols, both primary, secondary and tertiary react with hydrogen iodide to form their alkyl iodide. All alkyl iodide react with silver nitrate to form the nitroalkane. The nitroalkane of 3 different alcohols react differently with an alkali, with nitrous acid and followed by addition of an alkali. React differently with nitrous acid, hence an alkaline, they produce different coloration, so they can be distinguished. So this is the principle. All alcohols. So if you take primary all alcohols means 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. When treated with hydrogen iodide in presence of zinc chloride, what are the reaction? They form alkyl iodide. They form their alkyl iodide. This alkyl iodide, when treated with silver nitrite, they form their nitroalkane. This nitroalkane of 3 alcohols, so 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, all they form. So when they nitroalkanes, when treated with nitrous acid followed by nitrous acid and then alkali, they produce different 3 colorations. They produce 3 type of coloration. What is that coloration? RBC. Remember like this, RBC. The 3 alcohols, the 3 type of different alcohols, they produce RBC. 1 degree R, 2 degree B, 1 degree will form R, 2 degree form will be C. So what is R? R is red. So 1 degree will form red coloration. Then 2 degree will form blue coloration and 3 degree form will remain colorless. So very simple, very simple. So when all alcohols react with hydrogen iodide and zinc chloride to form their alkyl iodide, primary alkyl iodide, secondary alkyl iodide, tertiary alkyl iodide. When treated with silver nitrite, they form their nitroalkane, primary nitroalkane, secondary nitroalkane, tertiary nitroalkane. The nitroalkane of 3 different alcohols react differently. With whom? With the nitrous acid. And then on addition of sodium hydroxide, an alkali, they produce 3 different coloration, R, B, C, red, blue, colorless. So primary alcohol gives red coloration, secondary alcohol gives blue coloration, tertiary alcohol gives remain colorless, hence they can be distinguished. So you have 3 tests, you don't know who is primary, who is secondary, who is tertiary. Then add first the iodide, hydrogen iodide, then add silver nitrite, then add nitrous acid, then add alkali, which produce red color is primary, which gives you blue color is secondary, which gives this. So why this red? Now why this red color? Now this forms nitroleic acid. Primary alcohol forms nitroleic acid. This produces red coloration with sodium hydroxide. The secondary alcohol form pseudonitrile. The compound is pseudonitrile. So that pseudonitrile produce blue coloration. And tertiary alcohol does not have the hydrogen atom with it, and it will not react with alkali, with nitrous acid, will not react with nitrous acid, so will not produce any coloration, will remain colorless, hence they can be distinguished. So this is a very good interesting test. If you like, we can write the reactions also for primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol, and we can write the chemical formula, and white forms red coloration, white forms blue coloration, white forms remains colorless. So if you take primary alcohol, then how the reaction take place? So let's write the reaction with the, it is a principle. Now I am taking primary alcohol, say RCH2OH. I treat this with the hydrogen iodide. This produces me its alkyl iodide RCH2I. This RCS2I with silver nitrite, this forms RCS2NO2, nitroalkane. This nitroalkane I am treating with nitrous acid, HNO2. This HNO2. So this forms nitrolic acid. This forms nitrolic acid, and this nitric acid with sodium hydroxide produces a red coloration, red color. And if you take secondary alcohol RRCHOH, if I treat this with hydrogen iodide, then it will form RRCHI, secondary alkyl iodide. This with silver nitrite, this forms RRCHNO2. This, and this with nitrous acid, this forms pseudonitrile. The compound is pseudonitrile, PSEUDO, pseudonitrile. This forms pseudonitrile, and this upon with sodium hydroxide, this produces blue coloration. And when you come to tertiary alcohol, RRRCOH, and this upon treatment with hydrogen iodide, it forms its alkyl iodide, RRICI, and this react with silver nitrate, produce its nitroalkane, RRCNO2, and it will not react with nitrous acid. No reaction. There is no reaction. Why? There is no hydrogen. Here is hydrogen will react with nitrous acid, and here is hydrogen, two hydrogen will react with nitrous acid. But here there is no hydrogen, so will not react with nitrous acid. So who is causing the reaction? The hydrogen atom. Who is causing the reaction? Two hydrogen atom. Here one hydrogen atom. Here no hydrogen atom, no reaction. So this is called what is called Victor mass test. So the primary alcohol can be distinguished from secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol by whom? By the Victor mass test and Lucas test. Clear? Now question comes, how to distinguish methyl alcohol from ethyl alcohol? Why? Now ethyl alcohol is a primary alcohol, but methyl alcohol is neither primary nor secondary nor tertiary. Is a question also. This is a question is generally asked by the in entrance exams. So also in your plus 2 exam, in your board exam, both CBSE, ICSE, CHSE, you will get how can you distinguish methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol? Distinguishing test for methyl alcohol CH3OH and ethyl alcohol CH3CS2OH. So both, what is the difference both? Now both has the CS2. So reaction this. So the methyl alcohol can be distinguished from ethyl alcohol by iodoform test. By iodoform test. Ethyl alcohol forms iodoform. What is iodoform? CHI3. What is iodoform? It is a yellow crystalline solid. Yellow crystalline solid. So methyl alcohol forms does not form iodoform. Ethyl alcohol forms iodoform. Hence methyl alcohol can be distinguished from methyl alcohol by iodoform test. By iodoform test. So what is this? Now if you take ethyl alcohol CH3 CS2OH, we treat this with iodine in presence of sodium hydroxide. This forms as acetaldehyde plus hydrogen iodide. Then we'll take acetaldehyde CH3CHO form, react with iodine in presence of sodium hydroxide to form triiodoacetaldehyde. This is triiodoacetaldehyde. triiodoacetaldehyde. The triiodoacetaldehyde then react with sodium hydroxide to form iodoform HCOONA. This goes like this. HCOONA. This goes, it forms iodoform CHI3 plus HCOONA sodium format. This is iodoform, which is a yellow crystalline solid with characteristic smell. And when you take methyl alcohol, if you take methyl alcohol CH3OH, treat this with iodine and sodium hydroxide, no iodoform. No iodoform. Hence, primarily the ethyl alcohol can be distinguished from methyl alcohol by iodoform test. So, distinguishing test for 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, then distinguishing test for methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol. That completes your distinguishing test. Then question comes, conversion of alcohol, methyl alcohol to ethyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol to methyl alcohol. Then conversion of primary alcohol to secondary alcohol to tertiary alcohol. So, that we will discuss in our next class, that how to convert methyl alcohol to ethyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol to methyl alcohol, and how to convert primary alcohol to secondary alcohol to tertiary alcohol. These are the very important questions again, because all that is there we will discuss in our next class, that conversion of alcohol, upgrading the CH and degrading the CH and enhancing the alkyl group. Thank you very much. For the next class we will study the conversion of alcohol, methyl to ethyl and ethyl to methyl.